are you?
Good.
Good. How do you say your name?
Karina.
Karina. Okay, great.
Carina Alyse, yeah.
Awesome. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. Let me turn up my volume just a bit. Okay, so I was looking through the information that you sent me. It looks like you have 12 books out and you said you're wide, right?
Yeah.
Which platforms are you on? Are you on like Kobo and?
So I'm on Kobo, Barnes and Noble, Google Play, Amazon, and
Apple?
Yes, Apple.
Okay.
That's through Draft to Digital. I'm like this one more.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I go through Draft to Digital for them. And it's just all romance, right? Is there any particular niche of romance that you write a lot?
So I qualify for medical romance.
Okay.
I guess I write what is essentially Grey's Anatomy plus sex scenes.
Okay.
Because I'm a doctor in the real world.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then I do firefighter and police because that's like that's how all of those TV shows run now.
Right, right.
So
yeah. Okay, so my next question is, you say you're on all the platforms and you're mostly just looking to up your sales, right?
Yes.
Okay. How much, do you have any idea what your read through is? Like how much, if someone enters one of the series, will they go through all of them or do they drop off after a while?
So I do not, well, I do not know because right now I am not advertising very much, if that makes sense. So.
And can I ask you then, because you're not advertising, what is your average sales per month?
So right now I'm selling about $500 per month.
Okay. Okay.
It's probably closer to $600-700 when I add in the other groups. So I guess I should clarify a little bit about what happened. And so you understand. So I wrote a prequel series.
Yeah.
And that had 4 books in it, but the first book in it is White Woman, Black Male, which is almost impossible to sell. Really? Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so people would never buy that book. They'd get it. It actually doesn't get downloaded. I have people who are like, that cover is gorgeous. But the problem is that if you're white women, don't buy books with black men. If you're a black woman, you don't buy a book with a white woman, unless with a black man. It just, because the person who's buying it is the female, and she has to see herself in it. And so, I discovered it's the first book in the series though.
Okay. And, but you never ran any ads to it at all?
So I did run it. So I ran ads initially on it and found it didn't matter.
Where did you run the ads at?
I did Amazon. I didn't do Facebook ads on them. I did Facebook ads on my other most successful book. And that one performed very well, but at the time it didn't have any books to follow it. Okay. So there was nowhere for it to go. And and in romance, people want like a full series or at least a bunch of the series. Right. So for example, I had my most popular book has gotten 2 book bubs, and it sold. I got a free book bub, and I think I sold like 400 or 500, 350-ish other books the book that followed that, for example. And then I got 90 pre-orders on the 2 books that are coming out in the rest of that series. So it's hard to judge read through on that. Right, right. And then I wrote a prequel with white appearing people on the cover to my book 1 of my interracial romance. And it just came out, so I can't add yeah, it's hard to like advertise because it just came out.
Mhm.
And I still had ads running on the first book. I had all those pre-booked. So
Right.
so it was like, okay, why don't I, so what I did instead is I said, look, I did some blog tours, like to get more reviews. Because I find that the more reviews you have on your book, the more that, like, to overcome the genre issue of the cover, I changed the cover up to one that's a little bit more affectionate, and people like that. And I did like a blog tour that got me another 35 reviews. So that I went from having a book that had 40 reviews to a book that has like 90 reviews, because when you're thinking, okay, is this book good or not? So the next thing is that in May, most likely I'm going to start going, I took the TikTok class, which which I learned as much as they could teach me on that, but I'm going to start doing book flips. Have you read about those? Yeah, you basically take your book, and this works really well on romance. I don't know how it works on other genres, but you take your book and you spin it like this.
Okay.
And but that's all you do. You pick an exciting piece of music, and a trending piece of music, and then you put like a summary or something. So like you might write a sex scene that cuts off in the middle, so you have to go read the book to buy it, or you share some like very powerful trope. Tattooed grumpy deputy is so attractive and he loves animals, and I'm locked alone in the house with him because my car got towed. What would happen next thing? So some people have that's really going to be my next step, and probably running Amazon and Facebook ads again, because I'll have more of a complete series at that point.
Yeah.
It just seemed like so.
So let me ask you this then. What exactly happened when you ran the Amazon ads the first time? They were not successful. Were you getting?
No. So which book are we talking about? So
you said earlier that you ran, I think it was the interracial romance. You ran Amazon
so
ads.
all of my books are interracial romances. Hang on 1 second. Okay. This book, okay, is my bestseller. Okay. When I put it out in June, I spent like $1,000 on ads, and I'm on between Facebook and Amazon, and I made like $600 on it. But it was the first book in the series with no other books after it. Right. At the time. Now I have the second book in the series, but still that's only 2 books. This book, very pretty. See, very attractive cover. Pretty. You're like, wow, that cover doesn't suck. Right. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. My blurbs have been like, everyone is like, awesome cover, awesome blurb. It's just that no one wants to buy this. Yeah. They're probably willing to buy this. Is that the second one then? This is the prequel. To this. It has a very powerful hook into this book. So I'm hoping you would read this book, which is short, and I'll probably do for free or 99 cents. Right. And you're like, whoa, cool book. And then you'll not care, because you're so involved in the story, that this book, you will not mind that it is Black man. And then the next couple after that is Latino. So they're white appearing. No one seems to mind this guy who's Black, but he apparently is not Black to Black. I never assumed that. I just picked the most attractive guys I could find. Right. But again, the series isn't finished and it ends on a cliffhanger. So, so the next step is ads in TikTok and I'll do like a TikTok book for like 1 or 2 weeks each and see what picks up on that one. Because each of these are standalones with a secondary character who will star in the next book. Okay. So I really think that you're on the right track. It's just taking you a little bit of time to get things moving, like you said, writing more books in the series and everything. I wouldn't necessarily say that one that's the interracial one won't sell. It's just probably very, very niche. So you need to get it out in front of a lot of people. And even then it's never going to be your hugest seller. Yeah. I've talked to all the other interracial romance authors. They're like, don't bother. They don't sell either. Nope. Okay. Well, if it's going to be like, certainly you don't want to be losing money on it. So, maybe leave off
the ads on that one for a while.
Yeah. So that's
but I do think it's a really good idea to start with the prequel, because I was going to say that I bet if they like it enough, that more people will buy into the second book that way.
Yeah.
You could think about changing up the cover if you wanted to. I mean, you're
I don't
assuming
have
that
that
it's
cover
because
anymore.
of the, sorry?
I don't have that cover anymore. I changed it, but it's more, you're in the chat. It's easier to show than have you tell, you know, like,
Yeah.
sorry. So I decided to change, like.
Have you run any ads to it since you changed the cover?
So I'm just right. I left it. It was, so what had happened is I'd gotten like a big ad, like a big newsletter promo deal on it. Like a newsletter promo, like 50% off. And so I was running one per month. I can't really tell if they're doing better since the cover changed or worse.
Okay.
But you see, these two people clearly seem more in love and more passionate, while the other two people are kind of attractive, but not looking at each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, it's the topic. So like, I will henceforth never write like a book that has that on the cover. But what I'm hoping is that that all of my books are interconnected, and I'm running a USA Today list run for romance. And one of the book, what I really think is going to be the actual way forward is these books are like my heavy and most popular books. Like you can see the difference in size here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is all what happened before. So like the love story of all your other minor characters you love, this is like Cast of Thousands. So what I think the intention is going to be is that this is going to be what people come to.
Right.
And then when you run out of the books that you've read the 4 books in this series, then you're going to read everything else because you are dying to know what happened in the rest of the universe.
Right.
That's really where I'm leaning towards on that.
And especially if you run, so what I would recommend too is for that prequel, whether you do it free or 99 cents, try to run some sort of promo on it every single month, even if it's just a small one like Book Gorilla. Yeah. So you're just getting constant downloads.
Yeah.
I don't actually write genre romance, but I do write crime, and that's like genre or like romance. It's very high selling genre. So I have a couple of free novellas that are prequels, and I mean, they bring so much traffic into my series. So I would maybe recommend doing it free. And then you would have, I mean, whenever you can want to do that.
Yeah, I was going to put aside like, so I actually wrote more. I have, that's the other thing is that this series, which again, this is my most popular series. It's easily my most popular, and it's the one that got the most book bubs featured deals on it. And it has 278 reviews right now.
Right.
And it got released June last year. So
yeah, that's really good.
So I wrote 2 interconnected novella prequels. And so they're going to, I'm doing a bunch of, what we're doing is, I have a couple other things I'm running. I'm not everywhere. So what we're doing is we're doing like a free first in a series book that we're getting together a group of authors, and we're all going to put one book and we're going to run, it's just going to be free. So like this, for example, this book is going to be the free first in a series because the cover will be a shirtless white guy on it.
Right.
And you'll read this book without really identifying with the cover. Right. And then that will lead into the rest of the series.
Yeah.
So we're going to run that, but it's going to be completely free, and it's going to be called like Sizzling Summer Reads. And we're just going to have a shirtless dude like in a pool, and we're going to give it away to all of there's going to be like 10 or 20 authors in it. And we're going to give it away to all of our newsletters, and we're going to run one newsletter promo like a month. So we'll do like a fussy library, like a week, and then I'm going to analyze and send everybody the data. So everybody puts $30 in. So even if we only have 10 authors, that's $300 to just run ads over a couple months.
Right.
So stuff like that. So
good.
Sign up for this because I like you.
Oh, thank you. I like you too.
So I do your newsletter thing. I'm the person who always tells everybody to buy your newsletter on Ride for the Win.
Oh, good. Thank you.
That's me.
That's right. I do remember seeing you there.
Yeah.
So my next question is,
sure.
Do you do any of the in-house promos on the wide platforms?
Yes, I do all of them.
Good.
And I get picked for them. So I have a Barnes & Noble one coming up. I have a Kobo one coming up. I do them on, Apple's really hard to get because they don't do them very, like you can get, but I do them through Drafted Digital. So I keep an eye on that. Right. So I run those and I put them in my newsletter as well. So I run those and I apply for them, and I'm on Radish too. So, and I apply to those on Radish.
Oh, okay, good.
So
yeah, I would just, and you know, like we said, if the one isn't working as well, maybe start running those to the prequel.
Yeah.
And I think you'll still have a good percentage of people that won't go on to the next book, but you'll have a good percentage who will too.
Well, the problem was that the prequel came out on February 1st. And so like, you can't like, so I sell every book at like a reduced, like I sold it at $2.99 because all my books are $3.99.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be like, yay, buy the book at semi pre-order price and then just switch it to 99 cents and disappoint like all of my, you know, I wanted to let it to a price drop to 99 cents later instead of like at 99. But also I have a bunch of different, like, you know, you apply for BookBub and this book gets picked to be 99 cents. I had another one get picked because again, there's a lot of them. So
yeah. Well, just keep doing that. And then, you know, probably your best way forward, like you said, is just to keep writing books in the series that are selling. And a percentage of them will go on to read, you know, the other stuff that you have.
Yeah, the rest of your backlist. Yeah. And that was my thing. It was like, you need to have that, you know, the money is in your backlist, that no matter what they say, oh, you need to release a new one. So you don't necessarily have to release a new one, but you have to have enough books that people have more places to go.
Right.
I have one reader who writes a review on every book. Like I could actually assume her work through every book. She found me through the blog tour I bought. So if people want a good blog tour for romance, it's called Itsy Bitsy Books.
Itsy Bitsy Books?
Yeah, they at a minimum, the reviews are worth it.
Yeah.
It's like, I think I spent like $130 and they made a bunch of graphics and a book trailer for me and they put up an author interview. And so I immediately went to my prolific author templates and said, do you want to hear someone read a chapter of my book? Do you want to read my author bio?
Yeah.
In the popularity ones. So
good.
So
is that itsybitsybooks like .com?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it and put it in the show notes for everyone. So that's a good tip. It's always nice to find blog tours because so many of them don't do what, you know, they used to do. So it's good to find good ones that'll still work for you.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then I think some other people said good things about Silver Daggers. Yeah. That it's really difficult to sell interracial romance, but it was like, you know, I spent a lot of time figuring out what is it like. This guy looks like Miles Garrett to me, who I find extremely attractive. Why wouldn't everyone else find it?
Yeah.
So, you know, but yeah. So, okay. Sure.
And I think it is unfortunate, but it's just the psychology of the thing, well, you know?
The thing is, it's the person who's buying the book.
Right.
And you have to put yourself in the place of buying the book. And there's a certain amount, but it's the same when you say that about covers, is that you see a cover and you have a certain expectation of what you're getting from the cover. And if you depart and you know who your ideal reader is and you know what they want, and if you depart from that, they're not gonna pick up the book because the cover is the first thing they see and it's the first decision they make. That do I see myself, or does this book cover resonate with me as something that, you know, and romance, and probably crime, it's also escapist. And so hilariously, the main romance escapist fantasy appears to be a Italian dude who's a mafia member with tattoos. Like a ton of the billionaire romances have like tattooed older guy. There's almost never any blondes. They all have dark hair. Like you can't find a blonde picture. You actually have trouble finding a blonde woman picture too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so like almost all of the time, I mean, but that would make sense because the majority of the world has brown hair.
Yeah.
So, but almost all the guys, and they all have beards. Oh, the beard, always a goatee. But again, it's all the convention that's used over and over again, and people people are buying what they like, and you kind of got to go with what they like.
Right. And I wonder too, if just more like what you're saying is if they did something like for a billionaire romance or a mafia romance, if they did a blonde guy with no beard, if that wouldn't sell, because people see that kind of guy as like a beach guy, you know what I mean? And so it has to be part of the trope.
Yeah. No, but I had trouble finding blonde guy. Like what I wanted to do is I wanted to match my, at least come close to matching my characters in what the covers look like. And like I write firefighters too, and you're not supposed to have a beard at all if you're a firefighter because your mask won't fit. And I'm selling this idea that they're somewhat realistic. So you can't really have a bearded guy. And like, so my main male character is like blonde with like, he's older than her. He's blonde. Well, and he's actually skinny. This guy is not skinny, but he's kind of blonde.
Yeah.
But he really doesn't have any hair. And I couldn't find a blonde woman to go with a black guy. So I ended up with brown haired women. No one's complained though, but also she got to wear like a wig at one point maybe twice, at least once or twice in the thing. So, kind of counts. And I think in the next one, she's going to dye her hair brown for a couple chapters, try it out, so it'll kind of count. But again, like it's really, and I don't know, maybe it's because the contrast stands out better also for covers. Might be that too. So it's really difficult to find like, be like, just is. So
yeah.
Again, people want what they want, so you can't explain. Just it is.
Yeah. Well, I would kind of recommend just doing that and maybe just work on honing your Amazon ads, because I'm a firm believer if the book is well written, which I'm assuming it is, having all those reviews. Obviously, people like the work. You can make Amazon ads profitable. Again, you might need a couple more books in the series. And it also could be that you're never going to sell volume of that. You might always be selling $200 to make $300, but not anything massive. I'm probably gonna advertise the prequels for, like, there's 2 novella prequels for free. And so I have like an alternating plan. What I'm eventually going to do is, when I have enough books, I'm going to go to like an alternating perma-free plan. They're not perma-free, but it'll be like, this book is perma-free for 3 months in a row, and I'll run a bunch of newsletter promos on that. And I took the Writing Wives Facebook course too, so it was free, so I took that one. So I have stuff for Facebook ads too, for the wide platform. So it's kind of like, if you're going to do it, but you have to do it, and I want to finish out the stuff I'd already paid for. Right. So. Yeah. And I mean, it's not uncommon for any author, including romance authors, to have like 1 or 2 books that just don't ever sell as well as the others. So I think you just hit yours early, and you'll learn from it now and move forward,
Yeah. I have a set of like dramas too, that like originally was in the sexy series, but it was too dramatic. So like, I can tell you that one, that people who did read book 1 never went to book 2. They'd skip book 2 and go to book 3. So that one got moved out into its own series, where it's by itself, and it has completely different blurb. The way the blurb is written and everything is different. It's like, it's moved out of the main series because it wasn't escapist enough, because it was about 9/11.
Oh, okay.
It was released for the 9/11 20th anniversary, but it actually like occurs during 9/11.
Okay.
And people were like, nope. Like the reviews are great if you can be involved in a,
right.
It got better reviews than that Robert Pattinson movie that ended with the plane crash. So it got better reviews than that, but people were like, it was like, okay, that one's a definite series killer. It was already struggling with the first book, but the serious 9/11 romance trapped in the middle of one night stand with NFL football player didn't fly. Yeah. So it got moved. Yeah. So.
Well, and the other thing too is that because they're standalones, you know what I mean? Once you have more in the series, people can read them in any order they want. So you're not, it's good that you're not relying on chronological,
Well, so Amazon lets you take out the chronological order. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Yeah. So Amazon, and this is really obnoxious about Amazon. So let's suppose you have 4 books and you have a prequel. Book 1, if you labeled it, and there is no such thing as book 0. So Amazon doesn't display book 0 as your related content. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I do know that because I've run into that before.
Yeah, and it makes it so hard for the prequel. But here's the thing: you can take the numbers off of your books for Amazon purposes, but you can still have them display in the order you want.
Oh, okay.
So right now, this one would really be book 0, but Amazon doesn't let you have book 0, and otherwise it doesn't show up. So it's labeled book 1, but it doesn't display as book 1 on Amazon. Okay. It just gets displayed in order. So, Wildcat's up to 95 ratings. So never mind. I guess I got 6 more. I got 6 more ratings since I changed the covers. So I guess I got more reviews since I changed the covers. But I know, so Amazon just will display them in whatever order you want so it's still in the right order. but it doesn't identify it as book 1, 2, or 3. You can tell it to display in any order, but it will naturally display if you tell it in that reading order.
Yeah.
And so I did that to replace it. But Kobo and Google, they need to be identified in the series and in number order, but they don't, but again, nobody cares if you label your prequel book 1 and it says this is a prequel. It just is for display order. So I kept all of those with the numbers, because otherwise
that's a really good tip, especially for people who write non-chronological. So when you're doing that on Amazon, I assume that you wouldn't put the book number in the little box where it asks for it, but would you put it maybe in the title so people know?
You do put it in the box.
You do put it in the box?
No, so.
Hi there. If you are getting value out of this interview or want any help with implementation of any of the things that we are talking about in the interview, so that includes blocking out time to writing more words more quickly, to build your backlist quickly, writing transformational stories, of course, the cover, the blurb, uploading your book to the net, and of course, all things marketing, then check out in the description below, there is a link for my Fiction Author Business Academy. Now, before you jump to that, there's also a link right above that that says link for my super secret promo code. Now, the thing about the Academy is that it is a recurring membership that you can cancel anytime you want, but just to check it out for the first month, you can use that promo code and get the first month for $27. Okay, so if you're going to check that out, make sure and get that super secret promo code, I have to say that slowly, so that you can get the first month at a steeply discounted rate.
But while you're working on that, I'm going to tell you that I love your newsletter thing.
Oh, good.
It has made my life so much easier.
Good.
I'm glad. I get a lot of responses, actually.
Yeah.
People really, really, really love the instructionals, I've noticed. I get a lot of feedback on the instructional ones, the FYIs. Good. Like some of them do this, like you can do like a 0.5 or something like that. So I have like a 1, some of them, I don't think Kobo will let you do book 0. So I can't remember which one. Some will let you do book 0, some will let you do book 0.5.
Right. I think it's Kobo lets you do 0.5. Yeah.
Each one has like a little bit of a twist to figure them out. But Google and Kobo, Apple does not care at all what you do with series. Series doesn't even exist from Apple's perspective. There's no purpose in adding a series for Apple.
Interesting. Yeah.
Apple doesn't really display anything, but Google, you have to have the series and the numbers, and so does Kobo for people to see the series.
Right.
So, and I can't remember what Barnes and Noble does off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'd have to look too.
I don't know if they do the numbering, or if I don't remember what they do with that, but either way, but I noticed that that Amazon doesn't show you related content. And I said, how can I get around? Because my related content is part of my series. That's direct prequel. And the solution was order them, but take the, put the prequel in the series, but, and if it's going to be free, no one's going to be pissed off that their book was free and then they paid $3.99 for the next one.
Right. Right.
So, but yeah.
Good. Well, hey, thanks for showing me that. That's cool.
Yep.
Do you have any other questions for me?
Not really. I wanted to, it's good to know that when your plan seems relatively solid. So that was it. But, I'd always wanted I've watched your videos and I was like, hey, just, why not? Might as well see what she looked like, I mean, be like, might as well say hi.
Yeah, for sure. It was really good to meet you.
Yep. No problem. You have a great day.
Yeah, you too. And let me know how things work out. I mean, it sounds like that changing the cover might have helped a little bit.
Yeah.
So if it starts to go better when you start running ads to the prequel, we should do this again and update in a little while and see how things go.
Okay. Yeah. I'll probably, so I have lots of plans, and the USA Today thing is going to drive people ideally because I'm the editor on it. So, so yeah, I have so many stories to check. We have 20 books. We're doing a wildland firefighter charity romance thing.
Wow.
But I encouraged everyone to write into their next book. And so if we make the USA Today list, we'll see, that alone will drive people to, so we'll see.
And when does that come out?
That comes out June 28th.
Oh, okay.
Right before 4th of July.
Okay.
It's called Heroes with Heat and Heart. It's got a really hunky guy on the cover. We did Heroes with Heat and Heart 1 for 9/11, and we're doing Heroes with Heat and Heart 2 for wildland firefighters.
Cool.
So,
is it on pre-order right now?
It is on pre-order right now, and it's 99 cents, and it's wide. Except, I guess it's on Google, but Google doesn't really care about USA Today anything. So, they just do whatever they want to do. So, but yeah, so
Okay.
you can get it all the other places. So it's, yeah, 99 cents.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. I'll put that in the show notes too. So if people want to support you, they can go pre-order that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We even have like we even have a an ex-wildland firefighter romance author in there. And we have a couple actual ex-police officers and stuff. Cause it's like military protectory romance.
Yeah.
Doctors. It's that mix of protector and medical romance. Basically, Grey's Anatomy, Station 19, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and Med, that group of people, that's what you're getting.
Good to know.
So,
all right. Well, good luck
Thanks.
with everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully we'll talk to you again.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for this great author interview. If you got some value out of what we talked about, remember to smash that subscribe button and hit the little bell so you don't miss any future videos. Also, links to the Fiction Author Business Academy, that super secret promo code that I mentioned earlier, as well as the email course that was mentioned in this video. There are links for all of those in the description below. Thanks so much for joining us, and happy writing, everyone.